The Golden Gate Bridge on a gorgeous Friday afternoon in San Francisco. The trolley ride. What else can you do in this city? Everything. A little stroll down Lombard Street. A lot of cars on it today, that's for sure. The overhead view of one of the great cities in this country. And a great sports town. A great baseball team, too, with all the stars. 57 players that have worn a Giant uniform in the Hall of Fame. And by the way, at AT&T Park, they've got some pretty good players today as well playing in this good ballpark. This team, the best in the major leagues this year, with Posey and Kane, who's getting the call today. Hunter Pence having a great year as well. And this guy, the former Met, Angel Pagan, signing autographs in center field for the Giants, who are rolling this year. It is New York Mets baseball on SNY tonight. Mets and the Giants from AT&T Park in San Francisco. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Gary Cohen has the weekend off, and Keith Hernandez will be along in just a moment. So the Mets in San Francisco, their road trip continues, taking on the Giants here. And these Giants right now are the best team in Major League Baseball. Right now running away with the National League West. Look at this, 8.5 games over the Dodgers, the team that everyone thought would be the best team in the league. But instead, it is the Giants with that on it right now. And they had a great offseason. They went out, signed a couple older veterans in Tim Hudson and Mike Morse. And both guys have not only been good, they have been absolutely terrific. And we bring in Keith now. And Keith, they didn't spend a lot of money, but they spent it wisely. Those two guys have been money.
Well, to be precise, they had $29 million to spend, and they went out and got two players that have really turned this club around. Last year, this team was under 500. They were out of the race. The Dodgers had the big run to win the division. This year, they got the best record in baseball. It's not just those two guys. They're nice compliments. Michael Morris comes over here, hits 13 home runs, 41 RBI. He leads the team in both those categories. He's also been playing first base because Belt has been hurt with the broken thumb. Hudson, of course, is Tim Hudson, one of the best. So it was a great addition to the rotation. But I think the things to look for in that bullpen, which is solid. Sergio Romo has been their closer for 3 or 4 years. He's been showing signs of wear, and this young guy, not young kid, 32-year-old Jane Machi, is 5-0 with a .33 earned run average in 27 appearances. And I think if Romo continues to struggle, he's going to be their closer.
He's a setup man that nobody knows, but Met fans will know him after this weekend, that's for sure. How about these Mets? So on this long road trip, they took 4 or 5 in Philadelphia, and then they went to Chicago against the worst team in the league, and they got swept. And again, keep the offense disappearing.
Well, it's just a tease. If they don't get it from David Wright and Curtis Granderson, any ball club, they don't get it from their 3-4 hitters to get the big RBI, the big clutch hit, and drive in those runs, it's going to be a struggle. And those two guys have been struggling lately, particularly on this road trip.
All right, so who's pitching in this game tonight? It's a pretty good matchup, I have to say that. For the Mets is Jonathan Neese, coming off a great start in Philadelphia, and Keith really having a career year in every category.
I think he's finally matured here, and I love his last start. The bullpen was tired in that Philadelphia series. He had the final game. He needed the 8 innings out of him. He brought it to him. Didn't get the win, but he threw a brilliant ball game.
Matt Cain for the Giants. He hasn't pitched the last 3 times out. He's had a hamstring injury, back tonight.
Well, he's the one that hit David Wright in the head. We know that. An all-star pitcher. He's trying to come back from an off year last year. He's one of the best in the game.
Meanwhile, we talked about Tim Hudson. He pitches tomorrow. I'll get a chance to sit down with Hudson one-on-one when we come back. Gorgeous night in San Francisco. Mets and Giants coming right up on SNY. MLB.com/Aquafina. Take the pledge to Drink Up by Geico. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on the most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by Verizon. Enter today for a chance to throw out the first pitch when you visit the Verizon studio at Citi Field or Mets.com/Verizon. Fans, you can follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. Just download it on the App Store. You can visit Mets.com today. A very exciting time right now. It's time for tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight in the game. We expect some good ones for Keith and I up here today. Great shots of AT&T Park. A big reason Giants winning. Tim Hudson, 2-year deal. He's been great. I spent some time with him in the Giants dugout a couple hours ago.
Tim, this has got to be fun for you. I mean, it's kind of a rebirth. You're an Atlanta Brave, and then you come here and wearing a new uniform and you're doing things you've always done.
Yeah, you know what? It's been fun. It's been a great great move for me and the family. Obviously, it's had 9 awesome years in Atlanta. Great organization over there. We had a lot of fun. We won a lot of games. But obviously, it's another chapter in our life and in my career. And I'm grateful for the Giants to give me a chance to come out here and prove that I can still play. And it's been a lot of fun so far this year.
When you're coming back from a major injury that we all, unfortunately, to see firsthand in New York, what was the thought process? Tell me about the mental part, the emotional part, going through that, getting over that hump, knowing the rehab you're going to have to do, and getting back to this point.
Well, I think it was kind of a waiting game for the most part, waiting for it to heal up and see how your body was going to heal. And after it was pretty soon, probably about 2 or 3 months after I had the surgery, I was really confident that I was going to be able to come back and make a full recovery from it. Fortunately, it was nothing to do with my arm. My arm was good. It was just trying to get this old wheel back healthy. And it was. It was kind of weird because, obviously I was no spring chicken. I was 38 years old, and you wonder if that was it. But, obviously comes free agent time. There was a lot of, there was some action and some interest in me, and that was really encouraging for me. It made me feel really good to, feel like people wanted me and kind of rejuvenated, my energy and keeping on playing.
Was it tough for you to leave Atlanta? I mean, you did a lot of great things there, did a lot of winning there.
Yeah, no question about it. It was an emotional decision for me and the family, and, obviously there was a lot of question marks going on with my health at the time, and obviously it's a lot of people understand it's a business, and they have a lot of really good young pitching over there that's really inexpensive and really good. So I think it's been a win-win for both sides. Obviously, it would have been great to finish my career in Atlanta, but obviously things happen for a reason. And I'm just excited to be here, and we're having a great season up to now, and hopefully we can just keep it going. And it's been a thrill to get to know all these guys in the clubhouse and everybody here in San Francisco.
What are you doing better than you've ever done before?
Well, obviously I think for me, just my command's been really good this year. I think that's been a key to my success is just getting ahead of hitters and being aggressive in the strike zone and just trusting that, the stuff that I feature out there on the mound is going to be good enough to get guys out and try to stay away from hitters' counts. And, obviously, there's been years where my stuff's been a lot better, but, I've never been 39 years old before either. I'm getting up there in age, but it's one of those things where you just go out there and compete, be aggressive, and just believe that you're the best out there on the field.
What's your role as a veteran, as a leader that you are and a vocal guy that you are? When you come over to a new team to kind of, get in and kind of fit in and know when to speak up, when not, how does that whole process work?
Well, obviously, for one, the first time in 9 years, I was the new guy in the locker room this spring. And it's been a lot of fun just getting to know everybody. Obviously, in spring training, you're trying to get to know everybody, and you want them to get to know you as well and try to understand what makes you tick, and you try to understand what makes all the other pitchers on the staff tick. And it's been a fun process. Obviously there's a lot of good young pitching over here and some guys that are really receptive to some veteran guys and what we can bring to the table. And not that we know everything there is about the game and pitching, but it's fun to be able to share what we've gone through over the years and try to see those guys go out there and get better every day as well.
Before I let you go, Huddy, I'm assuming you had to go National League because you had to hit, right? You couldn't go a year without getting to the plate, right?
Well, I don't know if you've seen my numbers this year or not, but it's been a little bit of a struggle this year. I'm blaming it on my ankle. It's it's funny. Bumgarner, he can go out there and he can swing a little bit. He's been giving me a lot of static about my hitting so far this year. I keep telling him that it's gonna come around, and I'm gonna have some hits coming in bunches here pretty soon, hopefully.
Great seeing you. Look forward to watching you pitch this weekend again.
Thanks a lot, man. Good seeing you.
Well, he's got a 1.75 ERA. For the Giants, also one of the good guys in the game. Great night wherever you're watching tonight. Mets and Giants. Keith and I have the call. We're coming right back. Who knows? Maybe someone will hit one out there tonight. Gorgeous night. Slight breeze, really a perfect day. We get a little chilly later like it always does, but one of the great parks, if not the best park in the country. And here are the Mets, and trying to break a little losing streak coming from Chicago. Matt Dendecker gets a call today, leading things off. Murphy back in there after day off yesterday. That lineup brought to you by Geico, facing this guy.
Excuse me, Matt Cain, the 29-year-old, three-time All-Star. It's been a tough year for him. Remember, he cut himself grabbing a knife while making a sandwich, then came back and pulled his hamstring. So this is his first start back. And the Mets have always been hard on Matt Cain.
They have hit him well in the past as strike one to Dendecker. Missed his last three starts coming back from that hamstring injury.
And they're really not sure whether Matt Cain, how he's going to do. They're going to watch him closely. Nice 59 degrees at game time. Doesn't feel like it, does it?
Doesn't at all. Quickly, Dendecker in an 0-2 hole. And it's 1-2. Talked about his career against the Mets. 12 starts. He's 5-5 with a 3.57, but you remember specifically last year he recorded only 2 outs in a start against the Mets here. That's 36 pitches that day.
I think he went on the DL after that start, if I recall.
He did.
He was not right. And he's a bulldog over his career. This is his 10th season, and he's always been a guy that gives you 30-plus starts. 8 years in a row, giving 30-plus starts.
2-2 to Den Decker. A tapper for Hicks, and there's one away.
And we'll take a look at the San Francisco Giant defense, brought to you by Coors Light. Juan Perez, a bench player, getting a start in left field. Michael Morse took over first base. He's finally getting comfortable there. He's had a terrific year. And, of course, the former MVP and batting champion behind the plate, Buster Posey.
Now it's Murphy. Got the day off yesterday. Back in there today at second base. And takes a fastball for strike one from Kane.
Well, Murphy had a day off, but he had the pinch hit. And so it doesn't really count as a full day off. He had to get up there and try to get a base hit.
Murphy at 297 on the year. And this looks exactly like the first one. Hicks, 2 down.
I think it's important to note for the folks back home that they're following the night game. The Mets got into town, landed it. I know exactly when it landed because I was on that airplane. You were too, Kev. It was 2:09 when the Mets landed at San Francisco International Airport. You look at David Wright. Didn't get to the hotel till close to 3 o'clock, so everybody probably got to bed around 3:15. So that's, 6 your time, folks. So this is a tough game for them, but just gotta put that uniform on and do the best you can do. You think on a getaway, Dan, I don't want to cry here, but a little consideration for a team that's got to fly 4 hours. You're playing in Wrigley. Why not a day game on a getaway day?
Well, I think it's a good point. And here's why. David Wright takes strike. Wright, by the way, has crushed Kane in his career. He's 11 of 25 against Kane. And even after he got hit in the head a couple years ago, 3 of 7 since that time. So it hasn't really affected him. But, Keith, you're talking about that. People at home are probably saying, well, come on, these guys get paid a ton of money. So what? You get in. Well, guess what? The Giants had a day game in Cincinnati, and they were here before the Mets took off.
Yes, they were. And also, too, I think more consideration can be given by the commissioner's office to teams on either coast that are playing in interleague play are playing the opposite coast. So this year the Mets are playing the AL West. They're going to make 5 trips to the West Coast. There's got to be a better scheduling for that. Maybe lump in a 3 and 3 or something, so they're not going cross country 5 times.
1 and 2 to David Wright, and it's 2 and 2. And think about it this way too. This is now the second trip to California where the Mets are not playing a full week, only 3 games. They also had a trip to Denver where they played just 3 games and got out of there. It affects you, no question.
It does, and it's always easier to go travel west from the East Coast and play. It's tough coming back when you get kind of acclimated to Pacific time. But they got 2 more trips coming out here, the Mets. They got to play 2 in Oakland and up in Seattle and LA Dodgers and the Padres.
2 and 2 to David Wright. And the count goes full now. This Giant team, best record in Major League Baseball, an 8.5 game lead in the NL West, and they're also terrific at home, 19 and 9 here at AT&T Park, and they play 20 of their next 25 right here. Popped it up. Hicks, Pence. It's going to be Hunter Pence, and a nice 1-2-3 inning for Matt Cain in his return from the DL. Mets down in order. Jonathan Neese takes the mound when we come back. having a wonderful year atop the order. You see Sandoval, he was having a very difficult April, but he's been red hot since. And then Morris, we told you about in the open, he is on fire, 13 home runs, and this guy is also having a career year. Jonathan Neese looking for his 4th win.
Well, he's not going to be satisfied with the record, 3-3 in the 11 starts, but the ERA is sparkling, and he's earned that one. The whip is outstanding. I'll bring in a little sabermetrics there. That's one I don't mind. I think I like the whip. It's a good barometer.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, what that tells you, I mean, obviously the more guys on base per inning, the better chance they have to score. It's Pagan takes the first pitch strike, and it's inside 1-1. Angel Pagan, Keith, has become really a star. The Mets traded him away for Andres Torres and Ramon Ramirez, and at the time it certainly seemed like a good move. The Mets desperate for bullpen help. Ramirez was very solid in San Francisco, and then Ramirez came to New York and was awful, and Pagan went to San Francisco, was good, then signed a 4-year $40 million deal, and now he's having a breakout year.
Well, it just seems like Ramirez just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know, I haven't heard his name in a long while, but Pagan is a hustler.
Line drive right at Dendecker, barely has to move, and there's one down.
And your Metropolitan defense, brought to you by Lexus. Andrew Brown, a second start, been called up, needed that bat in the lineup. Matt Dendecker up from AAA. With the injury to Lagares, Tejada gets the start tonight. Daniel Murphy back in the lineup. Darno behind the plate. So that tandem at shortstop is continuing, and both players have been performing well.
See the difference here. Giants attack early. Pence pops it up, and Tejada with the over-the-shoulder play, and there's 2 down.
Well, the Giants are a team that is a 10th in on-base percentage. They're 9th in batting average. However, they hit home runs.
Yes.
They got 68 home runs. They're second in the National League, and they score runs. They got 263 runs. That's 3rd in the National League, and that's what it's all about. No matter how you do it, getting runs across the plate. And there's great manager there, Bruce Bochy. What a job he's done. San Diego to the Giants. Took the Padres to a World Series where they got defeated, and now it's been with the Giants. And they've won a World Series behind them. So very successful. Backup catcher most of his career, mostly with the Padres.
2-time manager of the year as Buster Posey takes for strike. It's 1-1 to Posey. You talked about the Giants hitting home runs, and that's strange because they have not been a home run team in an awful long time. And right now, 68 home runs, which is 4th in the league. I mean, Keith, there's a barometer. Last year at this point, they only had 43. It's been a huge part of their success. And this is not exactly an easy place to hit home runs.
It is not an easy place to hit home run. One of the bigger parks in the league. And Posey, the former batting champion, he's really a great hitter. He uses the field as a line drive hitter, clutch hitter. He's off to a slow start this year, hitting 262, 27 RBI. We're a little over the 3rd of the way through. So the Giants are waiting for him to catch fire, and you know he will sooner or later.
Well, he's had some issues too. He's missed 5 games recently with some lower back tightness, and that hasn't been great. He's trying for a 1-2-3 inning, the 2-2, and that's a base hit through the left side. So first hit of the game belongs to Buster Posey, and that'll bring up the big panda.
The Kung Fu Panda. And we'll take a look at Posey's swing. Hardly any leg kick, good balance. Fastball in, belt high, good balance. Looks like a batting champion swing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe West right there, the first base umpire. He's the crew chief. Joe's been around since there were dinosaurs. That will include me.
He must love that comment. So 2 down is Pablo Sandoval, and boy, it's been almost 2 seasons for him, it seems like. And he swings at the first one and attacks it and hits it deep down the left field line, but that one is going to go foul. Sandoval in April was pretty bad. Hit 177, just looked lost at the plate, and there was a lot of pressure. Guy was playing for a new contract, some contract negotiations that broke off. But since the calendar flipped to May, he's at 309 with 6 home runs.
Well, he's a switch hitter. He's a free swinger. He is someone that doesn't walk. He's only got 15 walks this year. And he's hitting .251. So, you know, he's another one of these guys that you can pitch out of the strike zone. He'll chase.
Chance for David Wright. On to Murphy, and the inning is over. So good first inning for both pitchers. Jonathan Nice allows the hit, but gets out unscathed with scoreless through one from San Francisco. Saturday, June 14th, part of the Mets concert series presented by Dwayne Reed. Catch 50 Cent joined by the original G Unit members live in concert June 14th. They're reunited. Should be fun. Mets.com/concerts. Get all the details of that one and more. We go to the second scoreless game. Good inning for Nice and Kane in the first, and now it's Kane against Curtis Granderson to lead it off in the second.
Well, on the current road trip, he had a nice series in Chicago, his hometown. Good homecoming for Curtis. On the current road trip, .290.
One thing Granderson's doing as he's started to heat up a little bit at the plate is he's gotten on base. He's walking quite a bit. He's now got an 18 games consecutive streak reaching base. Two and one, and Granderson pops it up. The gun coming in, and he puts him away for the first out. So we had a late lineup switch here for the Giants, Keith. Giants flipped their 7 and 8 hitters. Don't know the reason why. So Brandon Hicks will now be 7th, and Brandon Crawford 8th. Minor adjustment, just enough to mess up the scorecard.
Well, Brandon Hicks, who's playing second base in place of the injured Marco Scudero, back problems, never made it out of spring training. Hasn't hit for an average, but he's got pop. He's hit some home runs.
Yeah, he was in camp with the Mets last year and didn't make the squad. Here's Brown. Speaking of a guy that has pop, Andrew Brown, back from AAA, hit a home run at Wrigley yesterday, and Terry Collins said, you know what, I'm going to give him a chance to play one more time. Why not?
Well, the Mets in search of runs, and they will search high and low. There's no the mountain high enough, no valley low enough.
Very poetic. 1-0 to Brown from Kane. It is fouled off. You know, Brown, interesting in the short amount of time he's had up here. He's .286 as a starter, but 0 for 9 coming off the bench for Terry Collins. What are you doing on your scorecard? I've decided to not go white out. I'm just using the arrows.
Well, I've gone to pencil.
Oh, see, I use
so
pen.
it's a simple erasure.
I don't like the pencil. I don't know. Maybe I have bad eyes.
They're better than mine. Talk to me when you're 60. If I'm still alive, we can.
Jeez. We're in the second inning. You're already talking about your mortality? What's inning 8 going to bring? 2-1, Andrew Brown with 1 down in the second. And it's in the dirt, and a 3-1 count to Brown.
Well, Brown, of course, is, if any of you Met fans don't know, in AAA. He was just called up the other day. Started yesterday, his first game since being recalled. Hit .359 at Las Vegas AAA with 13 home runs, 12 doubles, 31 RBI in 36 games. He just missed that one.
Yeah, this one's carrying a little bit now. All the way back to, they're carrying a lot bit actually, all the way back to the track, but it's hauled in there by Perez for the second out.
Well, he's got a quick bat, and the fact that he's got a rhythm coming up, they're going to stick him in the lineup. The fastball in, just a little bit of a power swing, nice swing, but just got under it enough. F7 scorecard.
That might carry farther than you thought. I don't think that was getting that far.
He hit solidly. He just was a matter of how much he got under it.
Right now, the wind is not really a factor here. Slight wind blowing from right to left, but that's it. As Duda swings at the first pitch right to Morse, and Matt Cain is breezed through the Mets lineup in order. Middle of 2 at AT&T Park. Mets and Giants scoreless. We start the bottom of the second inning. No score, Mets and Giants, and it's Michael Morse leading off against Jonathan Neese, who takes it upstairs for ball one. Morse is right now arguably the best or the most bargain-based free agent signing of the offseason. Giants gave him a 1-year, $6 million deal, and he's got 13 home runs. This one, though, tapped to short. It's Tejada going to retire Morse. And there's one away. Even as Morse taps out there, Keith, I think maybe even more impressive than his offensive numbers. Brandon Belt, who was having a great year before he got hurt. Morse just kind of seamlessly went over to first base and done okay over there and still provided the offense.
Well, he's really an outfielder. Of course, remember him from the Washington National days. Had the big year in 2010 and 2011 back-to-back. Hit 311. Went over to Seattle, only hit 226 last year. Then went over to Baltimore end of the year. Just really a bad year for him.
First pitch swinging is Juan Perez, who gets a start in left tonight. Easy play, Granderson, and there's 2 down. The Giants trying to attack Jonathan Neese. That's just fine for him, who went 8 innings on only 91 pitches against Philadelphia his last time out. So here is Hicks. 8 home runs on the year. He's provided pop at second base, but that average is actually 5th worst among qualifiers in Major League Baseball. But in there for his power, he's a fly ball hitter. Was in camp with the Mets last year and then got cut, did not make the team.
You can see that the Giants at home don't have names on their backs. It's kind of unusual in today's game.
Nick jammed here. Hicks is 4 of his last 33.
He's got 2 pinch hits. He's played in 51 games. Hey, you're getting 20 RBIs out of a guy that's kind of just got to put a Band-Aid over second base with Scooter Road down.
Yeah. Granderson running a long way, and that's not going to get it off the wall. Hicks rounding into second. He's got himself a double, his 6th of the year.
Well, it's only 309 down the right field line. And he goes the other way. And he's got that high fence. And hit the base of the wall at 309. And Granderson plays it perfectly off the wall, holds him to a double.
At the mound, Keith. I'm not sure.
I don't know. The umpire's out there. I don't know what's going down.
Bob Drake is the home plate umpire today. And right went over there to Ottawa over there. Quick little conversation, and now back everybody goes. So first scoring opportunity for anyone in this game.
Oh! What is going on?
He was looking for home plate for a new baseball, and someone threw it at his chest. Here's Brandon Crawford, the left-handed hitting shortstop, who takes strike 1.
Well, they all got in late last night.
Crawford's got some pop. 7 home runs on the year. As a matter of fact, he hit a 3-run bomb off of Mike Leake in Cincinnati yesterday, and the Giants win. Fastball misses, and it's 1-1 to Brandon Crawford. Giants on the year as a team, 246 with runners in scoring position. That's 17th in the league. They have done well, though, is get big hits with 2 outs. And they actually lead the majors 122 runs, Keith, with 2 outs. That's getting it done.
Crawford hitting .328 against left-hand pitching.
Nice has him 1-2 here. Hicks off second. Paint that corner again. It's 2-2. And Crawford lines one deep to left. Park should hold it. Brown back on the track, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Giants strand a runner on second. We've completed 2 innings from AT&T Park. Mets and the Giants scoreless. It's day 2 of the Major League Baseball draft. Mets took Michael Conforto, the outfielder from Oregon State, with the number 10 overall pick yesterday. Let's see what he's done. Big on base with the walks, also some pop. Lefty hitter as well. That was their first round pick. Didn't have a second round pick. And the third round pick was a high school shortstop out of Florida by the name of Milton Ramos. You see what he's done in high school, but it's so hard to gauge. I mean, good players in high school hit 450 and 500 sometimes. So you really got to go on what the scouts say and what you could think those guys could be. They also picked in the 5th round today a pitcher from Seton Hall, Josh Prevost, 6'8", hard thrower, Jersey guy. But it really is a crapshoot, maybe more than any other sport, as Ruben Tejada leads off against Matt Cain and takes strike 1. And Conforto is an interesting story. He's got some athletic genes in the family, Keith. His mom, Tracy, actually won 2 gold medals in synchronized swimming in the '84 Olympics. Big cut by Tejada there. And he's quickly 0-2. His father, Mike, was a linebacker for Penn State, so he's certainly got some juice in there. He was a football player as well, but focused on baseball.
Well, it's interesting. I read an article in the paper about before the draft, the day before the draft, and the Oakland A's were highly successful. Said they're looking for athletes. I think that is the one thing that scouts look to. Is not just a singular guy you're looking for a 5-tool player. Obviously, they're just not they're hard to find.
Right.
But but in baseball, it's a little bit difficult to project, especially a kid out of high school. How far when he gets to be 20, 21, 22, when he gets to the big league level, how he will be able to compete against grown men and on the big league level. It's hard to say. So you look for athletes, and I think you've also got to look for the swing. I mean, the guy's got to have a swing, but it always helps if you can field your position. For all you kids that want to make it to the big leagues, don't be a one-sided player. Play both sides of the field. Scouts are looking for that. Teams are looking for players that play both ends.
1-2 to Tejada. He's actually hit well of late. 8 of his last 21. That's looking for the first base runner against Matt Cain. 1-2 is inside. How do you look at? We showed the kid from high school, right? So is it Milton Ramos, high school shortstop, and the things that you just said. So let's just say he has a good swing. Obviously, the Mets must like something about him. But how do you project what he could be in 5 years against men when he's playing against boys? It's a totally different thing, right?
Well, also, too, remember, it's a very small percentage make it from minor leagues, out of minor leagues, to get a chance in the big leagues.
Right.
The great majority, 99+, don't get there. There's more teams now, so there's more players drafted. So you don't know how they're going to react, but they're used to hitting. The big adjustment for me was learning to play every day.
Right.
In high school, you play twice a week. I don't know if that's changed. They certainly don't play every day. So you have no idea. Called third strike, inside corner there. You got all these players. They're all county here. Well, guess what? How many counties are there in the United States of America? There's 1 million counties. And there, Kevin, is the percentage of those in the 4 major sports that the first-round picks.
It tells you how hard it is, right? I mean, first-round picks to make an all-star team. NFL by far the most. I think there's a lot of reasons for that because the college game, especially now, is so similar in a lot of ways to the NFL game. This one popped up by Darnell. Posey's going to make a play in foul territory. 8 up, 8 down by the Mets. But this is really fascinating, Keith. I mean, first-round picks in Major League Baseball make an all-star game 12% of the time.
Agreed. And the statistic, I guess, for everybody drafted is probably a lot less. We've got baseball where you succeed 30% of the time. You're considered a great hitter. And pitching is an art to be able to go up to the various levels. All these kids are coming out, they're stars in their time, and then they're playing against, once you get into the pros on a minor league level, you're playing against the stars from Wisconsin, from Panama, from Korea, guys in their area that were hitting 500 or striking out gazillion players. The competition level picks up. Then you got your first step at A ball, then you go to Double A, and you start playing against older players. That was a tough league for me to adjust to.
Yeah.
But also, I hit 256 my first year.
0-2 to Nice, and he's punched out.
To be real brief, all of a sudden I hit 256. I'm used to hitting 500. That's a big adjustment.
A big one indeed. Meanwhile, Matt Cain doesn't need to make any adjustments. You know why? 9 up for the Mets, 9 down. Bottom 3 we go from San Francisco. Mets Giants still scoreless. Shot of the Ferry Building. They've got some neat little shops in there. Wines, cheeses, gluten-free pastries if you so choose, Keith. I'm probably the only one going for that. But plenty of other stuff in there. Get a nice little coffee out on the dock. Get to Citi Field. It's Father's Day, Sunday, June 15th. Mets take on the Padres. 1:10 start. All dads in attendance. Kids 12 and under 2 receiving a Mets cap courtesy of Nathan's. And stop by for Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest on Mets Plaza during the pregame. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sunday. So, both pitchers in control so far. Bottom 3. We're scoreless, and Jonathan Nice working to Matt Cain, who is 4 for 16. Hitting pretty good so far this year at the plate.
You notice John is changing speeds more. He's not throwing blistering 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. He's painting. It hasn't taken off too much. And he's moving in and out of the strike zone, and he's found great success. I mean, this team hasn't scored a lot of runs. His 3-3 record is not indicative of how well he's pitched.
You know, I think the Mets have been waiting and really wondering if Jonathan Nice, what he has been just fine. A good lefty you want to have in your rotation, but I think, wondering, is there another step? Is there another gear? And, well, right now you're seeing it. I mean, he's had a nice curveball, and Cain is down on strikes. So the first strikeout for Jonathan Nice, 1 down in the 3rd.
Well, I think a lot of times, too, it's called pitching to contact. And if you notice Bruce Bochy's comments in the papers today, that his team, his pitching staff, pitches to contact, and they play defense. A lot of people talking back in that minor league thing in drafting kids, they strike out guys. It's a big lesson to learn. You want to strike everybody out. You want to come up, you want to strike everybody out. And then you kind of learn, you know what? It's a little easier if I throw 3 pitches to one guy and I get a ground ball.
Yeah.
Pitch to contact. And Bochy made one very good point, and we've said it before, is that it keeps the defense on their toes. When you're throwing strikes, you're working quick, you're putting the ball in play. The game goes by faster, and your defense is going to play better behind you.
Nice, I thought, made interesting comments after his last start against Philadelphia, as quickly 2 strikes to Angel Pagan. He, in that game again, so economical. I mean, 91 pitches in 8 innings. And I asked him, because remember the bullpen was so taxed, they had played 2 straight 5.5-hour games. I said, was there a concerted effort to maybe, throw strikes, even if that meant risking location for you a little bit? And he said, yes. So I wonder, is there a lesson there? Not that you want to throw a cookie down the middle, Keith, but
I understand.
Can you take something from that and maybe say, hey, not give the hitters as much credit and go deeper into games?
Well, we listened to Terry's pregame interview with the press conference. He said he wasn't throwing pitches down the middle, but I'll say this, and I've heard it from a million pitchers. You can get away with a fastball over the middle more so than you can a breaking pitch. For some reason, a breaking pitch is just sitting there saying, here, hit me. Where a fastball, you can get away with a pitch that's not quite so precise.
1-2 to Pagan. And it's 2-2 down low. And curveball just missed. He's wanted that one.
Well, Pagan 286 against left-handers this year really just turned into a fine major league player. But getting back to John, he's got all the pitches. It's all you need: a cutter, curve, fastball, changeup. What more do you need?
Payoff pitch. And down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jonathan Nice in the third.
This has been the big thing for John, the curveball. You've got to throw it out in front. He's getting his body is getting forward here. Watch his delivery where he releases the ball out in front. There's the curve. He gets on top. You've got to, like they said, it's still, they got different terms today. We grew up as kids, when you throw the curveball, you got to pull the shade down. And that's exactly it. Look at it. He's getting on top and he's snapping it. Got it in front and driving off that back leg.
Hunter Pence popped out to Tejada at short his first time up. It's inside 2-0. Pence now is the leader in consecutive games played. This is his 368th consecutive game. He's the new Iron Man.
They signed him to a kind of long-term contract in the offseason. He's not a guy that walks. He's got 25 walks this year, which is up for him. Yeah. He strikes out. The Mets have always handled him. He swings at bad pitches. But you know what he brings to the ballpark? He brings hustle, and he's an igniter. He's an electric player. Not the greatest player in the world, certainly a very good player. But you like to have guys that play hard and come to the park every day and set examples. He's a veteran now. The young kids are looking up to him.
They gave him $90 million. It wasn't a cheap contract. They invested a lot in him, and he's paid it back on their investment. 3-2.
Well, he's a very awkward player. Awkward swing. He's very not mechanical. He's just contorted. And even in the outfield, he runs funny, but you know what? He gets it done. Very widespread in his stance.
Fights that one off.
So John's learned to pitch inside, and this is all part of the maturation process. You've got to pitch inside. Don't be afraid to pitch inside.
Look at that list. Both Bonzes, Orlando Cepeda and Willie Mays and Hunter Pence. This guy's at 20 home runs, 90 RBIs, 20 steals. Man.
Well, he had a strong finish last year, and there you see Mays, McCovey. Mays, what a player.
Jonathan Nice trying to strike out the side. It's 3-2. Nobody on to Pence.
So you can go up the ladder on Pence. He is a guy that doesn't. He's aggressive.
The ninth pitch coming. This at bat. Good duel here. Payoff one more time. Tap to second should be easy for Murphy. And Jonathan Nice is motoring through 3 well-pitched innings for both sides. Giants and Mets scoreless at AT&T.
Talked about the hustle of this man. That is a 4-3 on your scorecard and busting down the line all the way and out by a step.
He almost beat it.
Yep.
I have a really silly question here. Matt Den Decker leads off against Matt Cain, who's retired all 9 Mets to face him, and starts off Den Decker with a strike. Why can't everybody do that?
Well, that's a very good question. You're asking the wrong guy.
It's just, I don't understand why that's that hard to do.
Now, Pence runs very well. He can beat out grounders, but
well,
there are some that can't, and I would have been in that category. I would run hard down the line and look at the throw.
There are factors that get it. As Crawford, then Decker was certainly hustling there, and Crawford just gets him. So 10 up, 10 down for Matt Cain, coming off the DL from that hamstring injury, looking just fine so far. Daniel Murphy grounded out to second base his first time up. You know, those Cubs who just swept the Mets, well, they won again today. Anthony Rizzo with a walk-off home run in the 13th inning. They beat the Marlins. The Cubs coming to life.
No one wants to take control of the Eastern Division of the National League.
You're right. And the Marlins have gotten hot a couple times and hit a wall. Washington continues to underwhelm, even though they just swept Philly.
Well, the Marlins are starting to play better on the road. Remember, they were horrific in the beginning of the year in April on the road. They're now 10-18 on the road. That's an improvement.
0-1 to Murphy. Quickly 0-2. You know, give the Marlins credit, though, Keith. I mean, when Jose Fernandez went down, I think the thinking was like, hey, this team's going to go down the tubes now. And they've not only hung in, they've played pretty well without it.
They're kind of an inspired ball club, I think. I feel that way. A miserable year last year. They dismantled the ball club.
0-2, and Murphy punched out. So Matt Cain has his third strikeout. And 2 away here in the 4th.
Well, I think Matt Cain, the first time through the order, you're looking for a power pitcher. Look at his little backdoor slider. Pretty good pitch.
It's a good list. Gaylord Perry, Juan Marichal, Matt Cain. Cain's been a workhorse, too. 8 straight seasons with at least 30 starts. I mean, this year he's been on the DL twice with the hamstring and then the ham sandwich incident. Cut his hand up. He's been healthy. He's been good. He's the one guy that hits him best. Literally, David Wright, the best average against Matt Cain by any player.
And it looks like Matt Cain's very much aware of that. And remember, there you go. He starts right there. He's very durable. Carl Hubble, he's in good company, or about to get in good company.
2-0 to right. And he drives one to right. Pence has it lined up all the way, and Matt Cain has faced the minimum. 4 innings, 12 Mets up, 12 Mets retired. Still scoreless in San Fran. Out to Orlando's Caribbean Barbecue, home of the Cha-Cha Bowl. You had that before, Keith?
No, I have not.
It's quality. It's a whole bunch of stuff in a bowl, and you get all kinds of sauces. It's just really good, trust me. Jerk chicken, some veggies, rice. Good combination. Anybody, we have a runner who'd like to go get me one, I'm all for it. Right about now. Buster Posey, who's got 1 for 1 so far. Giants have 2 hits on Jonathan Neese. Mets don't have a hit or a runner against Matt Cain so far as we play bottom 4. And it's 2-1 to Posey, who's got a 5-game hit streak right now, trying to get back at it, coming back from that back injury that kept him out a few games. There's a strike. 2-2 to Posey, the former MVP, former hitting champ. Before that hit in the first inning, it was actually only 4 of his last 42 here at home. Very un-Posey-like. Curveball back up the box. That streak is over because Posey is 2 for 2 and a leadoff single for the Giants.
Well, that was the slow curveball, and you can see John shaking his head. You want this outside corner. Oh, he hung it too. He just knew he hung it. So meant to be down and in, and it was belt high over the middle. Out of the reach of Daniel. If that man can hit, you can't make a mistake on that guy. He'll make you pay.
Kung Fu Panda, the hitter now, into a fielder's choice to David Wright, his first time up. I told you he's been a different hitter since the calendar turned May. He was at 177 after April. And another curveball, this one to right center. Dan Decker makes the catch, and there's 1 down. Well, good matchups the rest of this weekend. You know, the Giants, we talked a lot about their hitting, but they're 3rd in major leagues in ERA as well. Tim Hudson 2nd in the league with that 1.75 ERA against Cologne, who's pitched great last couple of times. And then it's Lincecum. He's had an off year.
Again.
Yeah. But it's Wheeler against his former club on Sunday.
Michael Morse, we talked about. Another, thus far, just making the general manager look like a genius.
That's for sure. Morse takes a strike. Brian Sabian, the general manager, 17 years, 2 World Series. So I think he knows a little something about building a good team. But, you know, Morse he's always had the power. And you talked about his year last year, Keith. He did have a wrist injury, and you don't know if it was just a bad year or maybe the wrist had something to do with it. Obviously, you need your wrist to hit.
Yes. He's a big, strong kid. He had 3 good years in Washington, and they got rid of him.
High tapper. Tejada's going to try and take it himself on a first double play. Nicely done by Ruben Tejada. So Neese gets the ground ball he needed. We got a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel on our hands here at San Francisco. Tejada waits patiently. He's going to turn it himself. We played 4 at San Francisco. Mets Giants still scoreless. look at one of Willie Colon's childhood hangouts. He takes you back to his hometown in the Bronx. Plus, the crew breaking down the second week of OTAs on an all-new Jets Nation Sunday at 7:30 p.m. only on SNY.
There you go. Dress warm. It's a beautiful day here. That sun's going down. We're getting near sunset.
Curtis Granderson leading it off for the Mets. Matt Cain is perfect through 4 innings. Mets have not had a sniff. Cain with 3 strikeouts so far. And it's down low, 2-0 to Granderson. You know, you talk about Granderson, the former Yankee, the slugger. You know, the Yankees lost an awful lot as far as the home runs concerned this year. Granderson and Robbie Cano both exit stage left via free agency. We'll go back to that in a second. First, it's 2-0 to Curtis. And it's 2-1. But, I mean, out of Yankee Stadium, does that place make a difference? The answer is heck yes.
Well, I think it was fairly stark when with the series that Curtis had in Yankee Stadium with the short right field porch. You know, and Cano is one of the best hitters in the game, in my opinion. I just think that he's a fabulous hitter. But the power numbers are a little deceptive in Yankee Stadium, obviously, even though you only play 81 games there. Still 81 games you're playing there. And Curtis it's a ballpark made for him. He walks to lead off the inning.
Well, there goes the perfect game. That's why the fans are booing a little bit. But meanwhile, Granderson's reached base in 19 straight.
Well, Curtis has been walking a lot, too. It's a little slider, just missed inside. And Bochy thought it was a strike. Old catcher getting on those umpires.
We're talking about Cano, Keith. He's hitting this year. He's hitting .330 in Seattle. It's just he's only got 2 home runs.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Well, look, signs a humongous deal. All the pressure on him, much bigger part. And doesn't have protection anymore. Doesn't have all those guys in the lineup.
Well, he's still hitting for the average. I mean, high 300s is where he's hitting right now. Nothing to be sneezed at.
Sure.
Just he hasn't got the short right field porch.
Andrew Brown, the batter. Granderson a threat to steal. Granderson now has 33 walks. That leads the team.
This ball got thrown by Brown. So maybe Cain is starting to feel his oats here, getting a rhythm.
Cain's 0-2. Pretty amazing, right? I mean, here are the Giants, 39-21. It's their second best start since they moved to San Francisco at this point of the season. And Matt Cain has 1 win.
Yep.
How do you figure? I mean, that's just incredible. One-two to Brown, and tapped up the middle. Hicks going to take it himself.
Well, 2 tailor-made double plays by both pitchers. And this is turning into a pitcher's duel. It already is. And it's always who's going to blink first.
There's the shift. And we saw Duda last week in Philadelphia drop down a bunt against Schiff for a base hit. We've also seen equal amount of times, including yesterday, hit a line drive right to the second baseman. That's where everybody plays him, in that spot. So I guess, Keith, my question to you is, what adjustments can he make as a hitter to beat this?
Maybe using the left center field like he did in Philadelphia when he hit the home run. That would help. But Lucas has become a dead pull hitter. Got 2 left-hand hitters in the lineup with Granderson and Duda that are dead pull hitters.
Lays off that one. It's 2-1. That home run he hit in Philadelphia was a line drive laser beam to left center. That's really what he did in the minors. That's really what he is when he's at his best. But you said it, he's gotten away from that. And 3-1 here, though. Good count for Duda. All pitching so far in this one. That's still without a hit here in the 5th. 3-1.
I don't like taking that fastball 3-1. See, that's a ball that they're not going to come inside to Lucas if they're going to throw the fastball. They're going to want to roll it over, and he can just look that outside corner and go to left center field. I know it's easier said than done.
And Duda hits it hard, but a nice snare by Morse, and the inning is over. We're halfway home at San Francisco. Matt Cain doesn't have the perfecto anymore, but he's no-hitting the Mets. Good pitcher's duel. Good glove at first by Mike Morse. Still scoreless in San Francisco. Nice.
Don't do that to me. I'm very fragile. I'm all nervous now. Kevin.
Back here at San Francisco, bottom of the 5th. You okay?
I'm fine.
All right, good. Just making sure. Sure the coffee is the right temperature and all those things.
I just had a half a cup. I was afraid to have it because we need our sleep tonight because we got in so late. I don't want to get all caffeined out and sit and toss and turn all night in bed.
Juan Perez against Jonathan East takes upstairs, and it's 1-2. Perez flew out to right, his only at bat. Takes a breaking ball in the dirt. You know, it's interesting. These Giants, they have. Well, we know they have stars. But they have a bunch of guys that Bruce Bochy plugs in. He just seems to have a right feel for it. Perez is hitting 120 on the year, but he plays in Cincinnati the other day. It's a huge home run against Tony Cingrani that wins him a game.
Yep. Their bench is their weak spot. I mean, they say that Gregor Blanco has been starting to heat up. There's Bruce right there. Look at the off years that they've had. Those even years, they've been highly successful. So, but when he plays his bench, they seem to produce. They get hits. Their averages aren't reflective because they're pinch hitting primarily, and it's a difficult spot to be in when you're pinch hit. But when you get a spot start and you're productive, boy, that is just a double plus for a team.
Yeah. push the right buttons. 2-2. Nice scoop by right, and he completes the play. Perez thrown out for the first out. Take a look at our Verizon trivia question. Who has the 5th most home runs in Giants history? It's behind Mays, Bonds, Ott, and McCovey. 5th most home runs. It's not a normal question you usually get. 5th most.
Well, you've got Cha-Cha, possibly.
Hicks hits one deep to left center. Dendecker on his horse, racing back, can't get it. Over his head. Hicks racing around second. Gonna try for 3. Here comes a throw way too late. It's a triple for Brandon Hicks.
Well, Hicks, we'll see where Dendecker's playing. It's a big, that's the deepest part of the outfield right there in that corner. And just didn't get there. Dendecker usually can go get him, but this one got by him.
Yeah, he had a long way to go there. Just was a couple of shades behind. That's the first triple of the year for Brandon Hicks.
Well, you can never assume a home run in this ballpark.
Now realizing how both these pitchers are dealing tonight. Terry Collins going to bring the infield on in.
Yeah, but both pitchers on top of their form. One run could decide this game.
Crawford, first pitch swinging, just missed. Now these Giants are aggressive. With a great rip at that one, but it's just a foul ball.
Not by much.
Joe West on top of that call. Crawford's got 20 RBIs. Make that 29 RBIs on the year. Fastball's outside.
Oh, just foul. Game of inches. Aren't they all?
Not by much. He's trying to get that fastball in the corner. Couldn't get it again, and it's 2-1.
See the infield in here. They're looking to cut the run off. Neese just missing with 2 fastballs away.
Popped it up. Brown getting in position. Hicks going to try it. Yes, he is. Here comes a throw from Brown. The play at the plate, not in time. Look like the ball may have got Hicks, and he slides in with the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Giants.
Well, Brown, who threw out a runner in Chicago in a similar depth. Good strong throw home again. It just hit the runner. That was going to be a close play.
Brown had that real good throw in Wrigley yesterday, and then the all-important review overturned it. That changed the entire inning because then Travis Wood hit a 2-run home run, and instead of an easy inning for DeGrom, it was a 3-run frame. Let's look at it again.
Well, you just want to get a fly ball here. It's an inside out. A little bit tardy, but you just want to go up the middle. The fly ball gets the job done. Remember, he's the 8th hitter. Matt Cain saying he got hit in the back foot, I believe. And I don't know if that's a play that's reviewable. A hit by pitch. And Bochy's obviously, look at the back foot here.
Let's see.
Oh, he for sure got hit.
100%.
And it's reviewable, and this is going to be overturned, that's for sure.
It's easy to see. Ball doesn't change direction like that. This shouldn't take more than 2 seconds. I mean, if they're already looking at this back in New York.
Where's Inspector Gadget?
Go Gadget headset.
Here he comes.
There we go.
A house call here.
Got to bring out the box of equipment.
Take 2 and call me in the morning.
The Mazda play under review. You could save him the step and just tell him that it hit him. But they have to do their due diligence. Get on the headset with New York. Joe West, the crew chief, the one talking to those folks. And Jonathan Neese is.
This is going to be quick. Unless it's that ball turned into the magic loogie.
You just reference your own Seinfeld episode?
Yes, I did.
That was amazing. Now,
back to the right. I mean, watch the ball. I mean, that's got to. There you go.
Right.
Hit off his toe.
So, I mean, obviously, let's go. There you go. First base, it hit him. And Neese obviously not thrilled with that because he's been pitching a gem. Giants finally scrape up a run, and now they put the pitcher on. Not what you want.
Interesting today that we don't see a lot of pitchers, although they don't get on base a lot, use the jackets. You'd think that a cold, this is not overly cold night, but it's certainly not warm. We saw Dice K in Chicago put the jacket on.
Yeah. That review took 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Thank you, Janet.
I'd like to contend that it should have taken 12 seconds, not 1 minute, 12 seconds. Nonetheless, so Kane on first, 1-0 Giants, 2 down here in the home 5th inning with Pagan, who's 0 for 2. And it's upstairs for a ball. Pagan has been, well, he's having a great year as it is, but he's hitting .372 at home this season.
He's got 11 stolen bases, only caught twice.
Neese losing the zone a little bit, 2-0, falling behind Pagan. Tapper, right short hop. Nice play on Murphy, and the inning is over. Nice glove work by David Wright to end the inning. Giants will finally get on the board. Sac fly by Brandon Crawford, 1-0 San Francisco. It took to 2010 into the first title in their new town. Brian Wilson threw the final pitch at the Giants, 1-all. And interesting, Matt Cain, the guy on the mound tonight for San Francisco, was so dominant that postseason. I mean, he went 3 starts and didn't allow a run. Of course, the Giants won it 2 years later with a similar cast of characters. 2010, 2012 world champs under Bruce Bochy. 9 players on the current roster that had both of those rings.
Well, the Giants in '62, they won the best of 3 to end the season to beat the Dodgers, and they lost to the Yankees, of course, in 7 at Candlestick. And then the Oakland A's just demolished the Giants that one year, the year of the earthquake in 1989. And it's just so nice to see this in San Francisco, Kev, because I played 17 years in the major leagues and had to go to Candlestick Park. And most of those years, the Giants were not good teams. Hardly anybody in the ballpark. And to see this kind of enthusiasm, it really makes me feel good. This is highly successful organization. But you know why they're successful? They win.
It's always the name of the game.
Yep.
I mean, it's the bottom line.
This is the only park, I told you in between innings, that makes me jealous that I didn't get a chance to play in this.
It is a great park. If not my favorite, it's certainly top 2. Tejada 1-1 from Matt Cain, and the left side, Crawford trying to preserve the no-hitter, not going to do it. Mets finally have a hit against Matt Cain here in the 6th inning. It's an infield of the infield variety by Tejada.
Well, a nice rousing applause from the crowd. And with the Panda playing in at third base, that opened the hole up. No chance to get Tejada. Nice try by Crawford. And you're aware that he has a no-hitter. You got to make the throw even though you know it's futile. Futile?
I like futile. Sounds more dangerous. Travis d'Arnaud 0 for 1. Travis is looking for something to get going. Hit 130 in the 7 games since coming off the DL. And I think, for d'Arnaud, you get it. He's still kind of new. I mean, he came up in September last year and spent some time in the DL this year. Quickly 0-2. But Keith, problem is d'Arnaud so far, right? Coming in today, 224 major league at bats. He's sitting 192. It's not only that, but he hasn't really had a streak yet of even a good couple weeks. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, well, he can't get untracked. I'm very pleased that it hasn't affected his defense or his calling of a game, but sooner or later, you got to start getting some base hits.
Well, Mets had conversations about sending him to AAA before he got hurt. And you're right, his defense has been very solid.
I like the game that he calls. He calls a very aggressive game. And he's a highly sought-after young man. And he was the big guy in that trade with R.A. Dickey.
Speaking of that, actually, as Posey finds it in the dirt, 2-2. The other guy in that trade is Noah Syndergaard, and I guess the Mets can breathe a little sigh of relief. He got hurt last night in AAA. He threw a wild pitch with a runner on third, and he went to cover home plate and actually got in a collision at third. It was his left shoulder that they were worried about, or possibly even a broken collarbone. X-rays, MRI, good. He's got a little shoulder sprain. Probably resume throwing in a week, so that is good and lucky news for the Mets. And this Tapper, this could be an easy double play. The flip to Crawford on the first. 4-6-3, 2 down. Let's head to Eamon McEnany. He's in the studio. Time for a game break. Brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Toronto Blue Jays
are hot.
Oh, my goodness. They've won 20 of their last 24. They've got a major league best 89 home runs with 2 more tonight. They are having the year this year that they were hoping for last year, basically.
Under the second year of John Gibbons' return as manager. Last year was a very disappointing year for Toronto.
Nice got corkscrewed on that one.
did not swing. Oh, nice little pirouette.
Yeah. Fell down, though. Can't give him a 10. 1-1 to John with 2 down in the 6th. And it's upstairs. By the way, break up the Houston Astros. Winning again tonight. 5-0 over Minnesota.
How about that?
Unbelievable.
Watch this breaking ball, folks. All you physicists, you too. You say the ball can't possibly break. It can.
So you think he could hit major league pitching. 2-2 to Jonathan Nice. And he fights one off to short. It's Crawford, and Matt Cain has the shutout as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the Giants 1 and the Mets nothing. We're coming back in a moment. You know, just talked about Johan Santana last weekend in Philly and how Portoy is looking pretty good. Well, he tore his Achilles today in that comeback from the second shoulder surgery, out for the year. That's a tough blow. Told you earlier about Anthony Rizzo's walk-off home run in the 13th. Cubs have won 4 in a row, and Andrew McCutchen hit a home run. I believe that's his 7th of the year. Pirates bombarded the Brewers 15-5. And a curveball to start it off to Hunter Pence for strike 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Giants 1, Mets nothing. The only run is sacrifice fly from Brandon Crawford. And after a Brandon Hicks triple, that's been it. Both pitchers superb so far. It's 5 total hits in the game. Pence 0 for 2. Tapped to short. Tejada makes the play for the first out.
Well, I'll say one thing. Ruben has been very, very focused in the field all season. Remember last year, a lot in that cold weather, he just really struggled woefully and inexcusably. You got to play in all conditions, and this year he has been outstanding at short.
Buster Posey is 2 for 2 against Jonathan Nice. Last time hit a big breaking ball. Got another one there. One better though.
That's the pitch I like from John right there. He led Pence off with, and then Posey, that little slow curve on the outside corner to a right-hand hitter.
Is it hard to pull the trigger on that first pitch, get me over curveball? You expecting that?
It's not a get me over curveball. It's on the outside corner. It's one not to swing at unless you're looking for it. If you want to go up there, okay, if he's gotten you out with it and you're looking out there and you feel you could attack it, yes. But it's normally a pitch on the first pitch. Why swing at it?
Tejada goes backhand to make the play, and there's 2 down. Time now for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving. Jonathan Neese, you look at the numbers, tremendous. 15 straight starts with 3 earned runs or less. It's got to be tough. You're pitching that well, and
all you can do is take care of yourself. And there's been a lot of hard luck pitchers. Gaylord Perry comes to mind. Now you just got to hope, keep the faith, just keep pitching, and hopefully the worm will turn.
Inside to Sandoval, who's 0 for 2. Flew out to center. His last time up. Switch hitting third baseman with Mike Morse on deck. Think about this. A couple years ago, Mets gave Neese that 5-year, $25 million contract. That's through 2016, and they have 2 team options after that. That is looking like an extremely reasonable deal.
So 7 years in reality, if he continues to pitch well.
This is to right, and Granderson's going to put away, and the inning's over. Even more important, Keith, because in the Mets organization, there's so many young righties, but that makes lefty Neese more important. He's pitching a gem tonight, but he's on the losing end right now. 1-0 Giants lead the Mets. 7 we go. Feels like well pitched, well played tonight. Matt Cain, Jonathan Neese going at it. Mets have only 1 hit. That was a Ruben Tejada infield single. That's been it. And they trail 1-0. Brandon Crawford, a sacrifice fly. That's been it. Neese has been just as good. Let's try to get some offense here. It disappeared in Chicago after an onslaught Monday night in Philly. A couple of groundouts for Dendecker. Big hack and strike 1. Get up to the I have something else. I'll tell you what the viewing party is coming up too. At the Aviator Sports and Events Center. It's Brooklyn, Sunday, 3:30.
Well done.
That's all the information I have, so let's move on. 0-1 to Dendecker to strike.
Well, you notice how Dendecker attacked the first pitch fastball. When you got a pitcher out there, you're in the 7th inning. You're the 3rd time through the order. You're throwing a 1-hitter. He's got something working, so you just want to hit a fastball. All major leaguers want to hit a fastball. Most, the great majority.
1-2 to Dendecker, getting the call in the leadoff spot tonight.
When a guy's got his stuff going on, you don't want to be 0-1, 0-2. 1 and 2, obviously.
And Decker, fair ball. Nice. Using that speed, going on down to second as Perez goes to get it, and the Mets have something going. A leadoff double for Matt Den Decker here in the 7th.
Nice hitting by Matt. This is a backdoor breaking ball, and it's a good one. And look what he does with it. He couldn't be more perfect. All right, get out of the way. There you go.
You listen. Keith, good news. Janice gave me some details. The Aviator Sports is New York's largest sports and events center. You can watch the Mets take on the Giants. It's this Sunday. Met fans will be welcome and plentiful. It's a Mets live viewing party. Aviator Sports, located within Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, 3:30 on Sunday.
Don't understand why Sandoval's playing in on Murphy.
Last time Murphy dropped down a bunt.
And Sandoval, the third baseman. Murph is not one of the best hitters on the team. He's not going to bunt. But Murph has got to be a situational hitter here. He's got to drive him in, at the least pull the ball and advance the runner.
This is where the Mets have struggled. And Murphy hits one to right. Hunter Pence watches. It's high, it's deep, and it's gone! That'll help the average with runners in scoring position. A 2-run home run for Daniel Murphy, his 3rd of the year. And the Mets have taken the lead.
Gets a hanging slider right here. Oh boy. And down the middle and mid-thigh right in Daniel's wheelhouse, and that is a 2-run shot. Nicely done.
One swing, and the Mets have taken the lead after the Den Decker double. Murphy delivers his 3rd home run of the year. RBIs number 19 and 20.
Well, he crushed it.
That's a shot. I mean, 365 in the Gavin, and that wall is 22 feet high. Was waiting for it to hit off the top of that facade, but it went over. Would have at least tied it, but it did more than that. Quickly, David Wright in an 0-2 hole. It's one to right. Pence giving chase on the run. Can't get there. Good effort. Now, what a welcome sight that was for the Mets. In the sweep in Chicago, they were 4 for 30 with runners in scoring position. They left 31 runners on in that series, so they needed something in that spot.
And I was there. I saw it.
Juan Gutierrez begins to warm for the Giants. Nobody out in the 7th. Mets up 2-1. 0-2 to right with upstairs. Bring back some flashbacks. Granderson on deck.
But David has just been struggling at the plate. Just hasn't been driving the ball.
One, two. And it's 2-2. Now, Terry Collins has been talking about getting him a day off. I'm assuming it's going to be Sunday because that'll give him that, and the off day on Monday would be my guess. Don't know if that will help.
Well, that certainly will help. 48 hours.
Yeah. Terry hasn't said that, but I'm guessing that's going to be the deal. 2-2 one more time and hangs in.
And Sunday's a day game. Give him 48 hours, clear his head, and rejuvenate. You know, I would just stay out of the weight room. I would just relax. Let my body relax. Give it a break. Take a deep breath. It's not going to kill you if you miss 2 days in the gym.
Yeah.
If you don't do a sit-up or a back exercise. Stretch, absolutely. But just take it easy. Enjoy. Watch a game.
Well, it worked for that guy. Off yesterday, home run today on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. It's grounded to Sandoval, and Wright annoys. He slams the bat into the ground. That's the first out of the 7th. Giants 19-9 at AT&T Park. That's the best winning percentage at home in the majors. And Keith, they've got 20 of the next 25 here. What an advantage that is.
Well, you know one thing, it's a chance for them with the big lead to really push a gap between them and the Dodgers. 8.5 coming in.
Granderson takes low.
When the season's over, it'll be 81 home and 81 on the road. But when you got momentum and you got a homestand and you play well at home and you're confident at home, boy, you make hay.
This division where everyone thought the Dodgers were going to be the team to beat. Dodgers right now are 8.5 games back. Colorado 10.5 back. Rockies have completely hit a brick wall. They've lost 7 in a row. And tonight, losing to the Dodgers 7-2. D. Gordon's got 3 for 4, 3 RBIs in that game. Stares to Granderson. And it's 3-0. Rockies are just looking for any kind of pitching that they could find. Eddie Butler, their top prospect from Double-A, came up and started tonight against the Dodgers and got bombed. 6 runs in 5 1/3. Here are the standings, as we told you. I mean, 8.5 games at this point. It's a big lead. Should point out, though, Keith, Dodgers were down 9.5 last year.
It's a long way to go.
Granderson, lazy fly to Pence, 2 away.
Long way to go.
But I don't know that you can go on a 48-6 run or whatever it was they did last year every year. I mean, that's still a lot of ground to make up.
Well, every team has a hot streak in them. The good teams have more than the bad teams. And every team's going to have a stretch where they struggle. The good teams will have them, not as many, maybe 1 or 2. So the combination has to be perfect. When that team goes bad, you got to get hot, and that's when you can pick up the ground.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? I mean, right now, record-wise, they are, but are the Giants the best team in the National League?
I have not. They're certainly better than anybody in the East.
Sure.
That's for sure. We have not seen Milwaukee yet.
We will,
which has been a real stunner. They've been getting incredible pitching. No one ever would have thought that. That's always been their Achilles heel. They've always been a team that can hit. Cardinals are chugging along. They're just they're at 500. Did they get beat today?
They beat Blue Jays.
So they're at 500.
2-0 to Andrew Brown. And it's 3-0.
So I think the Giants are a better team than the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are, and it's just my humble opinion, are an undisciplined lot. The Giants are very, very disciplined. The Dodgers have more talent, more talented players, but that doesn't add up in the win column.
There's a strike. Well, Don Mattingly called out the Dodgers the other night and said, we're not good. And a bunch of other things to criticize the team if it's working tonight or if they just faced a Double-A pitcher who wasn't ready. LA up 7-2 in that game. That's in the 9th now. 2-1 Mets here in the 7th at San Francisco. 3-1 to Andrew Brown. And he gets jammed right back to Kane. Over the first inning over. But the Mets take the lead. It was a double by Matt Dedecker. And then Daniel Murphy going boom. 2-run shot. 2-1 Mets. Stand up and stretch. First pitch swinging, Michael Morse right down at David Wright, and an easy out. Jonathan Neese to start the 7th. That was his 79th pitch. 50 strikes for Neese.
So 78 pitches through the first 6 innings for John. 13, an average of 13 per inning. Outstanding.
You like that all day long. Mets have double barrel action in the pen. Edgin and Familia getting set to go. Neese certainly looks like he's got plenty left in him right now, especially because he only threw 91 pitches his last start. Juan Perez is the hitter, and he takes a strike. 0 for 2 for Perez. I mean, he's came into this game career best in ERA, career best in WHIP. And think about back to spring training when he had 2 MRIs on his shoulder and on his elbow. Curveball ripped foul. But both came back okay. Got a cortisone shot and everything calmed down. You know, he had a, remember last year he had a partially torn rotator cuff too, but rehab didn't. And he just looks completely in control. Not just today, but really the entire season.
Another fine performance for John Neese. Got to run a goose egg up when your team scores a run, and more so when it gives you the lead.
Foul tip caught by d'Arnaud, and a strikeout. 2 quickly retired for Neese. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day.
Well, not bad for a young man who was on a flight late from Chicago and didn't get in bed probably till around 3:15, 3:20 this morning.
Keith, I want to remind you, get up to the minute Rangers news and opinion. They get ready to face off against the Kings tomorrow, game 2 in L.A. Rangers blog. It's rangersblog.com, part of your SNY.TV blog network. Rangers Kings at 7 Eastern tomorrow night.
That's a big one, obviously. They can get a victory out in L.A., bring it on home to the Garden.
Brandon Hicks 2 for 2. He's had a big day. Double and a triple. Scored the only Giant run on a sac fly from Brandon Crawford. It was a tough loss in game 1. Went to overtime. Justin Williams snuck one past Henrik Lundqvist.
How about game 1 in the NBA Finals?
Turned off the air conditioning.
Jeez. And then had, what, a 16-5 run late to win.
Spurs didn't miss in that 4th quarter. Spurs are incredible. I mean, they really are an incredible, talk about team.
Cute.
Love the hat. Big cuts on the breaker. And Greg Popovich done an amazing job. I don't think, though, if he was in baseball, he threw the headset on between innings, if he would be the most jovial of interviews. Neese looking for a 1-2-3 frame. The 2-2. Got Jeremy Affeldt starting to warm in the Giants bullpen now. This game, though, is all in the hands of Jonathan Neese. 87 pitches here in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's got a 3-2 count to Brandon Hicks. It's only his 2nd 3-ball count all night. And he walked him. First walk for Jonathan tonight.
Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Got the 8th hitter coming up, and you're going to walk the guy, and you're going to go talk to him. He's got a nice rhythm.
Now, in all seriousness, what would the conversation be? He isn't doing a lot of pitches.
Well,
he's facing a lefty in Crawford who's gotten out twice.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm sure Dan has got something important to say. So the Giants have not shown who's they're going to use as a pinch hitter yet. There's no one in the on-deck circle. Here he comes. It's going to be Kane coming out. I can't believe that he would hit if Crawford gets a base hit or walks.
Yeah, you can't. The inning keeps going. If Crawford gets on, you got to have someone else out there with 2 outs. Certainly, if not, Kane's going to go back out and pitch. So there we go to Crawford, who hits a towering shot right side. It's going to go foul. Keith, you've been talking about all night. The atmosphere here is great. We didn't get the numbers in the crowd yet tonight, but I'm sure it's a sellout. Looks like it. 274 straight sellouts. Longest in the National League. Used to belong to the Phillies, but not anymore.
It's a baseball game here, a baseball environment.
Crawford lays off. It's 1-1.
It's the second stadium in a row. We were at Wrigley Field, now here, where there's not all this noise. It's nice to hear the crowd.
And it gets by Darno. That puts the tying run in scoring position. That's a huge play.
This is going to be a wild pitch. He's set up inside, and that's just a tough play.
Two and one to Crawford. Hicks the tying run on second. He popped him up. That'll go foul. Count evens at 2-2. Crawford, the only Giant RBI with a sac fly that drove in Hicks earlier. Joaquin Arias, Met Colt hero, on deck. Crawford back up the middle, base hit. Dendecker charging. Hicks rounding third. Throw coming home, not in time, and we're tied.
Very clutch, and Nice has got to forget this here. What's the pitch? Fastball up. Didn't get it down and away enough. Good strong throw from Dendecker, but too much speed coming around the bases in Hicks. There's that slide I don't like. Look how far ahead of his feet are as to his hand. There's the swing, beautiful right there. That's good two-strike hitting. It was a 2-2 count. And there's your reaction. There's a team that's fired up.
First pitch swinging for the pinch hitter Arias, but Dendecker has a beat on it and makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the wild pitch cost Jonathan Nice. Big 2-out RBI from Brandon Crawford, and we're tied at 2. ballpark. Great game tonight, but Jonathan East just beside himself because he's pitching at Jam. He's got a 2-1 lead. A wild pitch puts a time run in scoring position, and then he lets up a 2-out single to Brandon Crawford.
Well, he's got, if the Mets go 1-2-3, which would take them to d'Arnaud,
yeah,
I'd run his butt back out there from the 8th inning.
I agree. Birthday boy, 35 years old today for Jeremy Affeldt, on in relief from Matt Cain.
Well, he's been around a long time, bounced around. He's found a home here, and he is really a solid left-handed reliever.
And Lucas Duda will lead things off. Lefty's hitting .233 against Affeldt this year. He's been really, really good for these Giants. Matt Cain coming off the DL with that hamstring looks just fine. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts and a walk, and it's 1-1 to Duda. Well, this guy has been a gem. Gene Machie, the new 8th inning man that no one's heard of. His numbers are astronomically good. He's warming for the Giants.
His numbers, are numbers, Kev, I have not seen. And I have not seen those kind of numbers from a relief pitcher.
One of those things where I knew the Giants bullpen has been good, but yeah, those numbers are silly.
5-0. He's got to be lucky when you're a relief pitcher when you're 5-0.
2-1 is fouled off. 2-2 to Lucas Duda.
He's got 27 appearances, 0.33 earned run average, 27 2/3 innings pitched, only 1 run given up. My word.
And by the way, lefties 0 for 24. Duda takes that breaking ball for strike 3. So Affeldt retires the first hitter he faces, 1 down in the 8th.
Big curve. Stayed, oh boy, big sweeping curve, and Lucas out in front quit on it. See, he brought his arms with him. Did a dead doornail when you do that.
Now it's Tejada. At shortstop's hitting safely in now the last 9 games. Tejada and Flores, that combination worked. Tejada actually broke up Matt Cain's no-hitter with an infield single in the 6th. So he's 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout, and a 2-2 game in the 8th.
Got a home run on this road trip.
And another curveball. Affeldt's got it working, and strike 1. And there you go. That's quite the contrast to what it had been. Collins was asked today if he thinks that they're pushing each other, in a competition, and he said, I don't. I actually think they're just pushing themselves to try and be the one. And Tejada hits one at center. He's got a base hit. So a 1-out single for Ruben Tejada. He's now 2 for 3.
Fastball in. Ruben gets long with his swing. That's where he gets in trouble. And he's got a little bit too much. I mean, I know I'm being kind of a picky, but it's not really picky. It's a little bit of an uppercut swing. He's really got to stay level.
Throw over to Ruben Tejada, but he is almost no threat to go. So Keith d'Arnaud, we talked about him earlier. We know slumping coming in. Batting 184 coming in. 0 for 2. Hit into a double play earlier. You said it hasn't affected his defense, but confidence-wise at the plate, how does it keep building and putting pressure on himself?
Well, you start squeezing the bat tighter. You start swinging at bad pitches. Everything speeds up, and you know he really hasn't gotten untrapped. He's earned every bit of this 190 batting average. He just hasn't been able to get into a hot streak. You start trying too harder. Do I belong in the big leagues?
This one could be 2 again. Sandoval on down to second, back to first. It's another double play. 5-4-3, and the inning is over. d'Arnaud's hit into 2 inning enders tonight. Giants turn it, and now we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets and Giants tied at 2. Terry Collins making the double switch here. Chris Young comes into the game in left field. He'll bat ninth, so he'll lead off the next inning. And Andrew Brown out of the game, and the new pitcher is Carlos Torres.
Well, Carlos is, you can see, 31 games. Last time he pitched was the second game of the Chicago series. Went an inning and a third and scoreless. He's been solid out of that bullpen.
He's had a very, very good year. Got a save, actually, in the 14th inning, one of those marathon games in the Philadelphia over the weekend.
I kind of would have liked to have seen Jonathan stay in the ball game.
I'm a little surprised. Neese had only 94 pitches. Was pitching great. Would have you could have pitched him out there and then had Young pinch hit anyway. But Terry goes double switch.
At least give him a chance. The team can score a run and get a W.
Pence on deck. Pagan today is 0 for 3. He's hitting .338 from the left side this year, the switch hitter.
You always want to reward your starting pitcher. If he's throwing a good game, leave him out there. And I know that the pitch counts are important today and whatever. That's fine. I haven't got a major issue with that. But I would have let him run out there another inning.
Meanwhile, Torres in danger of putting the leadoff runner on, especially Pagan, who is a base-stealing threat.
11 stolen bases for Pagan this year, only caught twice.
Yeah. 3-0. And I'll make it 4-0. 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man. That'll make you barf if you're Jonathan Neese. Here's the Verizon trivia question from before and the answer. 5th most home runs in Giants history behind Mays, Bonds, Ott, and McCovey.
Matt, of course.
Williams. Now Washington manager, 247. That's a heck of a board right there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Hunter Pence with Pagan off for first and a threat to go.
He's a hit and run guy, too. You can hit and run with Pence. You got a guy that has a natural cutter to his fastball. Throws predominantly away. Pence goes the other way well. Granderson playing deep. Big cut, first pitch. Pence does not mess around. He's aggressive, to say the least.
Sergio Romo, Giants closer, is up.
Got the Chicago Bears socks on down there.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
The old Chicago Bears.
0-1. Tapper right side. Pagan's going to get to second without a problem. He only played at first, so Pence moves the runner over as Murphy throws him out. But now Pagan, the go-ahead run on second with one away, and that'll bring up Buster Posey.
Well, you got to go through the two best hitters in the lineup, in Posey and Sandoval. And that gets the crowd all fired up.
Josh Edge and Norman for the Mets. Posey's had a nice day. 2 for 3, a couple of singles off Jonathan Neese. But here he's facing Torres. First pitch, a little low. Posey 1 for 5 in his career against Torres. And he's always good with runners in scoring position. There you see it.
Torres thought he had a strike there. Close.
Posey launches one deep left center field. This one's way back and it's gone. 2-run home run Buster Posey, and it's 4-2 San Francisco.
Slide ball.
Eighth home run of the year for Buster Posey. RBIs 28 and 29, and he's got a 3-hit night. And now it's Sandoval.
Well, here's the hanging slider. Oh, stayed in. He dropped the hammer.
The Giants have been doing that all year. 4th in baseball in home runs. That's their 69. And this breaking ball is lifted to left and playable for Chris Young. That's the second out. Now the damage done after Daniel Murphy's 2-run home run in the 7th gave the Mets the lead off of Matt Cain, who was pitching great. He's equally good on this night. Allowed a wild pitch, and then Brandon Crawford with a big hit with 2 outs to tie it. Now Neese lifted Torres in, and Posey delivers the big blow. 2 down for Michael Morse. It's the 4th 3-hit game of the year for Buster Posey. Inside to Morse, it's 1-0. Morse 0 for 3.
Morse is a big, strong guy. Very peculiar. Not so much the batting stance. He's very upright, straight up hitter. But the way he holds his hands out over the plate. He's a big guy.
Torres tries to kick it. Diving stop by Murphy. No chance. And Morris has himself an infield single. Murphy. I'm not sure if he was annoyed or if he nicked himself there.
Well,
now Juan Perez. Sorry, Keith.
no, it's just if you make that dive in play, you're in really no position to make a play at first base.
So fouled off by Perez.
But nonetheless, Murph is always all out in most everything he does.
Perez 0 for 3 tonight. And it's 1-1. He takes that outside. Now these Giants off to their second best start since they moved to San Francisco at this point of the year. This many decisions anyway. That according to Elias. Pop to right. Long run. Granderson coming in hard. Can't get it. Gets away. Morse going to have to stop at third. He can't run. And Murphy getting out there. Good hustle by Murphy to prevent that from being any more damage than it was. But a little blue double by Perez. And now it's second and third.
Well, Granderson playing very deep. Well, not that deep. It's just a big ball yard here. This is just perfectly placed. And you're right about Murph. He's around the play, so he's able to make, when the ball gets past, he's able to get to the ball and prevent the run from scoring. Remember, there's 2 outs here. You're on your horse. And he slowed down, and that could be a big difference right there.
Big cut by Brandon Hicks.
It looked like Morse did not know where the ball was.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're running, you've got to go. When that ball's with contact, I don't understand how you don't know where it is. You see it off the bat.
Brandon Hicks had a huge night. Couple hits, 2 runs scored, double, triple.
All right, now you're a runner here. You're going to go on contact. You see the pop up. Why do you need your coach? Well, I don't understand. There's 2 outs. There's 2 outs. You run.
And also at that point, looking behind you to go look at the ball. That's what your coach is for, right? Yeah. Just keep running.
You think you've seen it all.
Well, nonetheless, it's Morse on third. It's Perez on second. It's 1-2 to Brandon Hicks. Bottom of the order has done damage tonight for the Giants, with Hicks getting on and Crawford driving him in twice. A couple of Brandons doing work. Hicks will call time.
Okay.
You all right?
I'm fine.
Just checking. Inside. Seagulls are starting to descend.
They always do late in the game. They know when it's clear out time, and they're going for the extra peanuts that are laying around. And
the thing is, it's early right now. They must have watched the Posey home run or something. This is very interesting. It's 2-2 to Brandon Hicks. With 2 down, 2 on, and Torres gets a strikeout to at least keep the Mets within striking distance. But the damage is done because that man, Buster Posey, untied this game with that. Home run number 8, 2-run shot, and now the Giants try and close it out, up 4-2 over the Mets. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Pat Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcawley.com. By Cholula Hot Sauce, the hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap, available in original flavor, chili lime, chili garlic, and chipotle. And by Lexus, introducing a car design with one purpose: to stand apart. The 2014 Lexus IS, it's your move. Right now, it's Sergio Romo's move in, trying to close out the Mets. 4-2 Giants in the ninth.
73 career saves. It's 8th most since the Giants have moved to San Francisco. That's 1958. He's been struggling of late. His last start was clean, but the 3 prior, he's given up runs.
Even with that, he's got 18 saves, which ties K-Rod for the league lead. As Young will go into the crowd. It's quickly 0-2.
They say that his consistency with his slider, he was always his big out pitch and tough on right-handers. He's been leaving it out over the plate, where before he was always spot on. There's the Chicago Bears.
Those are great.
Where's Bill Wade?
Almost saved 38 games last year. 14 in 2012, and then was great in the playoffs that year when they won the World Series. 0-2 to Chris Young, who came in a double switch last inning. And it's 1-2, missed outside. Tomorrow, coverage begins at 9 on SNY. It'll be a 10:05 Eastern Time first pitch. It's Tim Hudson and his 1.75 ERA against Bartolo Colon. This pitched very well for the Mets last few times out. Young jammed. Morse giving a look and runs out of real estate. Chris Young in his career 1 for 11, 7 strikeouts against Romo with Den Decker on deck. It's a lot of alliteration.
You did it brilliantly.
Thank you. Romo's 1-2, and Young stays alive. This Giant bullpen has been exceptionally good. The 2.41 ERA as a team coming into today. That's number 2 in the majors, behind only the Nationals. They are 32-0 when leading games after the 8th inning. Have to get better numbers than that. Giants trying to be the first team in baseball to win their 40th game. It's only June 6th. I guess technically it's a 7th back home. And Young hits this one to left. Easy play. Perez makes it, and there's one down. Well, Matt Den Decker got the Mets rally started his last at bat. A leadoff double, came home to score on Daniel Murphy's home run. It looked like that could be the huge point in the game, but there were a couple more key ones after that. And Den Decker 1 for 3 tonight. He's been on base all 3 times Terry Collins put him in the leadoff spot this week on this road trip.
A pretty impressive double his last at bat off Matt Cain.
And 1 at bat against Romoni, walked in his lone appearance. Both starting pitchers tonight were very good. Jonathan Neese, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. And the last run, though, he will be annoyed all night long. A walk, a wild pitch, and then a 2-out single to Brandon Crawford. 1-1 to Den Decker. Cain came off the DL for the Giants, missed the last 3 starts because of a hamstring issue, and he had a no-hitter for a while until the 6th inning. He went 7 innings, 3 runs, and just a 2-run home run to Daniel Murphy for him. Right back to Romo, and there's 2 away. Daniel Murphy, the last Met chance to keep this thing alive. It's 4-2 Giants in the 9th. Tapper right side. Hicks has it. And this one's over. Romo the save. Affeldt the win. Posey the hero with a 2-run home run in the 8th. And the Giants take game 1 of this 3-game set. 4-2 the final score. It sends the Mets to their 4th straight loss on this road trip.
Well, a well-pitched ball game by both starters. Neese as well as Matt Cain. Both of them were not involved in the decision. The big blow was Torres when he came in, a leadoff walk to Pagan. The 2-run shot by Posey, his 8th, broke the 2-2 tie. That was in the bottom of the 8th inning. A well-played ball game. A nice win for the Giants, who continue to roll at home. They go to 20-9 at home. Mets, what started out so handsomely on this road trip, now are 4-5 on this trip.
Yeah, they took 4 or 5 from Philly, but haven't won since they left the city of brotherly love. And the Giants, well, they're the best team in the majors for a reason. They pitch and they hit in the clutch like they did tonight. They get it 4-2. Affeldt to win in relief with a clean inning. Torres took the loss. He yielded the home run to Buster Posey, his 8th of the year. Crawford with a huge hit off of Jonathan Neese. And here's Sergio Romo, league-leading 19 save. Shots fired. Giants having quite a year. Their 20th win at home, and they knock off the Mets by 2. We're coming back to San Francisco in just a moment.